First, what is Python? Hey, welcome back to the YouTube channel, everyone. In the previous video, we have started our SQL journey by covering the basics. We have learned how to select the data from the table using select, from, and where clause. If you have missed that video, go ahead and check it first. Now, in this video, we will take it to the next level. We are going to dive into some more advanced concepts that will help you to work with more complex query and data. The concept we are going to cover today is join, group by, having, order by, limit. These are the clauses which are used in DQL, which is also called as DQL. First, we can look into join clause. Join is used to combine the data from the multiple table. As we discussed earlier, SQL allows you to work with data across different tables. But what if you need to bring the data together from two or more tables? That's where join operation comes in picture. If you see what is join is used to combine rows from multiple tables based on combine rows from multiple tables based on common field. You will often use it when you need to relate data in one table with another data in another table. Basically, it is like if you want to combine the data from both the table and show it to the user. In such a case, to show the data in one, we'll be using join function. Join operations are further categorized or further divided into four types. First category or first type is inner join. Second one is left join. The third one is right join. Fourth, outer join. Now, let us see key joins clearly in depth. First, inner join. Inner join is used to return only that rows that have matching values in both the table. Returns only rows that have matching values in both the table. Means in general, if I tell that inner join only gets those data which is matching in both the table. Means the common column which we will be taking to join the tables, that common table values should be same. If the common table values, if it is same, only those records will be shown off to the user in inner join. Second join is left join. Returns all the rows from the left table along with the matching rows from the right table returns all the rows from the left table along with the matching rows from the right table. Third join is right join. Returns all the rows from left table. Returns all the rows from the right table along with matching rows from left table. Full outer join. The last join is full outer join. It combines the result from both the tables even if there is no match. It combines the result from both the tables even if there is no match. Let us see the inner join with an example. The rest of the joins like left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join we can see in the another YouTube videos which I am going to do in future. So let us see the inner join for now. Now I will be explaining inner join in detail with an example so that you will get a correct and perfect image of the inner join and explanation and the concept behind the inner join. Let us take an example. We are writing a SQL or a DQL query. Employees. This is a way of combining the data from both the tables into one table. Or inner join is also called as format. It is a kind of merging the one table data into another table data, ensuring it as one table. So if I see an example here, the syntax for writing the inner join is this way. First, we have to write a select statement. We have to specify which are the columns which we need to display to the user, and we have to select from which table we have to take that data. I'm taking data from employee and employee table, and for that employee table I am going to add the matching records from the department table on the column on the common column called as department ID. The syntax for inner join is like select the columns which I am going to display to the user and data I'm going to display is employee name, department name. That employee name and department names comes from employee table and department table. So that's why we are combining both employee table and inner department table through inner join, where inner join will use those records which has matching values in both the table. I am joining the employees table and department table through the column name department ID. Employee dot department ID equals to department dot employee department ID. The ID. This is the syntax. Next class which I am going to see is group. Group by is used to organize data into groups. We have a group by clause. Now remember, when we use the where clause to filter the data, well, what if you want to group the data by certain columns, like counting how many employees works in each team department? What is group by clause in general? Group by clause allows you to aggregate data by one or more columns. It is commonly used with aggregate functions like count, sum, average, etc. Group by clause is used to group the data into groups, organize the data into groups based on the same values. Group by clause allows you to aggregate the data by one or more columns. Commonly used with aggregate function. The aggregate functions like count, sum, average, max, min. Now let us see the group by clause with an example. Now I'm writing an example like SQL query. Select department, taking employee table for this example. Here I am displaying the employee department ID. The, the best way to practice the group by clause is first write select statement, write which table you are going to get the data. I'm going to get the data from the employee table, and by which column you are grouping the data. You have to specify through by clause and then specifying the grouping by the column folders department ID The same department ID members will be grouped into one category. After grouping the employees based on the department ID, you should display department ID. If I want to count the number of employees who are present in each department, then I can use aggregate function. Aggregate function can be used along with the group by function if it is necessary, not mandatory. Count star as employees. This query will take the employee table and groups the employees based on the department ID. After grouping, it will count the employee in each department and show it to the user. The third clause I am going to explain is having clause. Having clause. Having clause is used to filter the group data. Now, we know that how to group the data using group by clause. Sometimes we want to filter these groups result set based on the result of an aggregate function. As we know, group by clause is used to group the data based on common columns. Having clause, it is used to filter the grouped data. Now that we know how to group the data using group by clause, sometimes we want to filter this grouped result set based on the result of aggregate function like count, sum, etc. Having works like where. Having clause works like where clause, but it is used to filter the result after data is grouped and aggregated. I'll repeat once again. Having clause works like where clause, but it is used to filter the result after the data is grouped and aggregated. Now, let us understand the having clause with an example. I will be writing a SQL query. Select. We'll be taking this query. Then having clause. Here, as we know, this query will take the data from employee table and it will group according to the department ID, and for each and also after grouping the data it will count each employee in each department. Here, if I want to take out particular group which satisfies our aggregate function condition, such a case will be using having clause. Here, this query will show only those departments that have more than 5 employees, unlike where which filters the rows before grouping. Having allows you to filter after the aggregation happens. Simple word if I tell, having clause it is used to filter the grouped data. Here the data is grouped as per the department ID. If I want to get those department ID and those number of employees whose count is greater than 5 means which department section there is employees greater than 5, those employee has to be displayed. In such a case we'll be using having. Here I am grouping the data based on department ID. After grouping I am counting the employees in each department. If the count of the employees is greater than 5, then I am taking out those records. So, filtering the group by data. That's why having clause is used. Order by clause. It is used to sort the results. Once you have your data is grouped and aggregated, you may want to display the result in certain order. Order by allows you to sort the result set by one or more columns. You can sort in ascending or descending order. Order by clause allows to sort the result set by one or more columns. You can sort it by ascending order or descending order. Let's see an example. Salary, employee, order by. Here, if we see this SQL statement, where I am trying to get the name column data and salary column data from the table employee. After getting the data, I am trying to order in descending order. I'm trying to order the salary column descending order so that the highest salaried person will come in first and least salaried person come in last. If I want to get in ascending order, then I can use ASC. It shows the result set where the least salaried employee comes in first, highest salaried person comes at last. The syntax for order by is first you will be writing select the column which you want to display to the user, and you are selecting the data from which data source you are trying to get the data and which column you are organizing, by which column you are organizing the result set in ascending order or descending order. So it's showing the syntax. Select column name one table. I am here through the syntax will come to know that I am taking the values of the column 1 from the table. After getting the values, I am trying to order that result set by the column salary and descending so that the result set column or result set table organized in such a way that the employees with high salary comes first, the employees with less salary comes at last. The last class which I am going to explain for today is limit. Limit is used to restrict the number of rows in the result set. Finally, sometimes you just want to limit the number of rows returned by your query. Maybe you want the top 5 results or random samples of data. For such a case, you can use the limit clause. Limit is used to restrict the number of rows returned. It's commonly used when you want to display first few results through large data set. Now you can see through an example. Here, as we know, it will try to take the data from employees table, mainly name column data, salary column data. After getting the data, it will store in result set, the temporary table with rows and columns, and this data will contain name and salary data, where salary will be low, lowest to highest because we have ordered the salary by ascending order. That's why the salary column will be lowest to highest. If I add limit clause here and mention the limit as 3, then it will take the result set. In that result set, it will show the first 3 rows or first 3 records only. Let us see join function. Basically, in our join. If I want to get the data from two or more tables, then I'll be using the join function. Syntax for join function is select the we should write the select statement. The select statement will should specify which all the columns we need. First we need first name, item the order, status of that order. So basically we'll be joining three tables in one table. You can join two or more tables in one table by using the join clause. After selecting the data which we want, we have to select the data source from which we want to take this data. First name, item, status. Taking this data from the customer table. So customer as C, and I am trying to join that customer table into order table because first names come from customer table, item come from order table. That's why I'm joining customer table with the order table, whereas status comes with shipping table. First, first we have to join first two tables. After joining two tables, we can join the other table using the common column in both the customer table as well as order table to join. The common table is customer ID. Customer. Now, after joining the two tables, I will add one more table from which I want to get status. The status is the status we can get by shipping table. That's why we change shipping table also. That's why in this table, I join. But understood, that's the customer table. Customer table. That's why it was showing. See, I have taken the columns from three different tables and shown it to the user. This is only possible through the join function because join function will helps in joining the two or more table and brings into one table so that we can see uh, records records of each table in one table through the concept of join. This is about join. If I want to group the shipping table, based on the column shipping ID, cannot use shipping ID because it's a unique number. We cannot group the data based on unique ID. We can group the data based on the status or the customer ID. So we can take the status as a grouping column. Now, based on status column, we group the data. That's why we have to put that column in select statement. And afterwards, we can use the aggregate function if needed. In group 5, we can use aggregated functions also if it is needed. We will be using count function to count the number of shipping items in particular status. The number of items which is delivered is 2. Number of items which is in status pending is 3. If I want to get only pending uh, items, if you want to see the number of items in pending, then we can filter out by using having clause, because here have put the data based on the status. In the status, I am trying to get those those records through aggregate condition. Like we can use aggregate, we can use the having clause. Having, if the count is equal to 3. If I use count is equal to 3, then only this record will be displayed. Basically, I have grouped the data, grouped the table based on the status column. After grouping the data, I am trying to get only one record whose count is equal to 3. In such a case, we have to use having clause because I am filtering out the groups. See here, it's filtered out and only one record is shown. Satisfy this condition. It will be seen on order by clause. So, I'm selecting entire data from the customer table. But I am organizing the data based on the each column in ascending order, where data set result set will be in this way, where each customer will be displayed first, highest age customer will be displayed at last. You can see here 22 to 30, least age customer will be displayed first, highest age customer will be displayed last. If I change it to descending, then it is a reverse of it. Each customer will be shown first, each customer will be shown at last. If I want to get the first three records from this result set, then I can use the restriction clause, that is limit clause. Clause limit equals to 3. Then first three record will be displayed. Yeah, you can see. The rest of the records will be restricted. It will be not shown. This way, we can use limit clause to limit the viewing of records, where we can save the memory usage and time of access. And there you have it. We have covered some advanced SQL concepts that will take your queries to the next level. Let's quickly recap. First concept which we have gone through is join. Joins allows you to combine data from multiple tables. Group by helps you to organize data into groups for aggregation. Having filter out those groups. Order by sorts your results based on specified column. Limit restricts the number of rows returned. This concept works together to help you to analyze and manipulate data efficiently. By mastering this, you will be able to perform powerful queries and gain deeper insight from your data. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to and hit on the like button, subscribe for more SQL tutorial, and share this video with your friends or colleagues who are also learning SQL. If you have any questions or want more in-depth example, drop a comment below. I will be happy to help you. Thank you for watching. I will see you in next video. Bye for now.